got my first child in 2020 during COVID, and then went back to work, and something shifted. Something in me shifted. I can't put in words what that was, but I just remember struggling, and I was wondering, why am I struggling? I love being a journalist. I love telling stories. I love being here. I've done this for 10 years. And I told this to my boss, Kimenyi, that, hey, I've tried. My head is not here.
Yeah.
I think I just need to leave.
Yeah.
And you know what he told me? If you need a break, take as long
as you want.
Keep quiet, Tanwe. I'll never forget that. Especially that he's a man. You expect men not to understand these things. For instance, there's a story we did in Turkana, far away place called Loima. It's next to the border of Kenya and Ethiopia.
Is this the story you did with Paul?
It's the story we did with Paul. Yeah. And that story, these guys live, the closest clinic was up to, 20 kilometers away?
That's far, yeah.
And there are no public vehicles or anything. So they have to walk. So you can imagine if you're in an emergency situation.
Just like if you're in labor or something.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So had the opportunity to paint out this picture. I know that at some point I fell into depression. I did not know that at the time because I was a straight A student.
Yeah.
But then my grades started dropping and all of that, and I couldn't because I wasn't very expressive in terms of what's going on with me, in terms of exploring what could it be. I internalized a lot of stuff, and I knew that I'm just supposed to do well. I'm supposed to do well in my studies. I'm supposed to do well in everything that I am, that I endeavor to do. So I think that pressure on myself to do that, and also not recognizing that, you are a child who's gone through a life-changing
experience.
Shit.
Hi everybody, welcome to Ty Talks with me, Tyrone Kimenyi. Ty Talks aspires to inspire the current and future generations by telling stories of people who have succeeded in their careers. Today I'm very happy to have a friend of mine. She's a mother of two. She also happens to be married to one of my close friends. She's a seasoned journalist who has won numerous awards. Ladies and gentlemen, Sharon Momanyi. Hi Sharon.
Hi.
Finally, yeah?
Finally.
When I got your message this week, you were like, Ty, I think I'm ready to come to a show.
Finally,
I was so
ready.
excited, yeah.
I think we spoke about this when we
were in Chaka, yeah.
Oh yeah, months ago.
And you'd be like, Ty, I'll text you when I'm ready, and you actually did, so I thank you for that.
Yeah, I believe in the fullness of time of things.
Give time.
Yeah, give time.
So how have you been?
I've been good.
Yeah.
Been back to work for 6 months now.
Wow, yeah, you took a bit of a hiatus.
I did take a sabbatical for 3 years from 2022.
Yeah.
Went back to work this year in media.
Yeah.
And it was a good break. Yeah. And it's great to be back.
Good to be back on camera.
Yeah. Good to be back on camera, telling stories, and now balancing a lot of things,
family and work. Yeah. But at least I know you're able to juggle it well. I've noticed that. It's hard, I know.
It takes intention.
Yeah.
Like you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, that's
basically.
You gotta prioritize some things.
Yes.
Put some things aside.
That's true. Yeah. Actually, it brings me to the thought of, this question of always balancing. And I always wondered, because growing up, I enjoyed reading people's stories. And there's this one question that mothers are always asked, like working mothers. Yeah. How do you balance?
Exactly.
How do you do it? How do you balance work and family and life, being a mother, being a wife? And I always thought, God, why is that a thing? Like, isn't this just part of life? Like, it's part of you being a mother. It's part of you being a wife. It's part of you working.
Yeah.
Until you wear the shoe, then you realize everything there's a currency of time and there's a currency of energy there's also a currency of capacity.
That's true.
And so sometimes it takes just knowing that what is priority, what can you drop at the time.
Yeah.
So it's I don't know that there's really a balance.
Yeah.
It's just sometimes I'll be like, I'm going to mess up on this. So I'm just going to drop this ball and I'm not going to apologize about it.
I like that. I like that a lot. But let's go back to 37 years ago.
Yeah.
You were born in Eldama Ravine.
Yes.
Maybe you can tell me a bit about your childhood.
Yeah, I'm a small town girl.
Yeah, that's what you like to say. Yeah.
I'm a small town girl. I was born and bred in Eldama Ravine, which is a town in Baringo County. My mom was Tugenhens. Actually, she's from Eldama Ravine. Grew up with a small family of
4 siblings, right?
Yeah, 4 siblings. And a large family because we're very close-knit with my cousins. Like a number of my cousins also lived in Eldama Ravine.
Yeah.
So we grew up close and I was a very curious child.
Yeah.
Very curious. I think I was boring to some extent.
Boring.
In hindsight, I think I was a boring child in the sense that I really didn't do much play. You know how after school guys are outside playing with other kids and what. So I was that kid who after school I just want to come. Okay, there were responsibilities that were laid out to us. Hey, my mom was so strict. Come, you remove your nini, you have to wash. I don't know what was the thing with socks.
Yeah.
Everything else would be washed, but you have to wash your own socks.
Yeah.
So I'd wash my socks and if I'm either reading a book, I really enjoyed reading storybooks and wild things. So my parents had a library and from a very young age, I just loved to explore. I remember there was a particular book called Mahali Pasipo na Daktari. It was actually a Kiswahili book.
Yeah.
So I was so curious because, and it was essentially about first aid and all that. So I really just enjoyed getting information and learning things but helpfully, I also loved the arts. So I was always doing poetry and dances and school skits. So I think that saved me from my boring disposition.
Speaking of that book, is that what spurred your interest in? Because you actually wanted to be a doctor.
Yes, I did want to be a doctor. That did spur my interest. My dad was a doctor, but a doctor of animals.
Oh, wow.
He was a veterinary doctor. But I really did enjoy the aspect of treatment. And I don't know where that came from, but I was so keen on the medical field.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why I was reading that book. And even growing up, when I was in high school, I ended up being the health prefect and would do this first aid.
Is that Moi High School?
Yeah, this is Moi High School, Kabarak. And I think I was so set on being a doctor. And in not that there's any regrets now, but you know how you come full circle and realize there's a healing that comes with some things that I do that don't have to do with medical studies and being a doctor, but healing is holistic.
That's true.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, you lost both your parents at a young, tender age.
Yeah.
But what I respect is that you managed to keep your family very close-knit. I think that basically brought you guys even closer together.
Yeah.
Which I really respect.
Yeah.
So when you got to Moi school, high school, you realized that from your childhood, reading was something which was part and parcel of your life.
Yes.
What did you like most about high school?
The friendships that I made. To be honest, I think that really carried me through that season because I lost both my parents in my teenage. Actually, my mom before I was a teen. And my dad when I was 15, my mom when I was 12. So it was a very challenging period.
Sorry for that.
Thank you. And at the same time, there was this family that we created in the high school. I don't know, I see people having very different experiences in their high schools, but mine was like paradoxic. It was a paradox because on one hand, it came at a season that really broke me. But on the other hand, I found myself like Kabarak was a religious school, a Christian school. I was involved in a lot of Christian activities. I was actually the CU chairperson at some point.
Yeah.
So, and I was in all the music groups in Kabarak.
Yeah.
If you know anyone from that school, they'll tell you these music groups tended to be elite. How I ended up in all of them is a story for another day.
Yeah.
But that the community that I formed, I'm friends with a lot of people from high school, a lot of girls.
Till this day.
To this day.
Yeah.
And we even have an alumni group that's very close.
That's nice.
Our particular class of 2005.
Yeah.
And I know that at some point I fell into depression. I did not know that at the time because I was a straight A student.
Yeah.
But then my grades started dropping and all of that, and I couldn't because I wasn't very expressive in terms of what's going on with me, in terms of exploring what could it be. I internalized a lot of stuff. And I knew that I'm just supposed to do well.
Yeah.
You know, I'm supposed to do well in my studies. I'm supposed to do well in everything that I am, that I endeavor to do. So I think that pressure on myself to do that, and also not recognizing that, you are a child who's gone through a life-changing
experience,
shit, for lack of better words.
Yeah.
So then I internalized all of that. And I remember in the fourth form, particularly, I had my closest friend in high school is called Brenda Kate. And we used to do a lot of things together. In our first and second forms, we even did like math contest and all that kind of stuff. And by the time I was just dropping, by the time we got to fourth form, I was actually had no motivation to study. I was just moving. I was on autopilot.
Yeah.
Actually, that's the word I formed years later. Like this was autopilot because I was going to class, doing all this. I was a prefect. I'm doing everything, but I'm so empty. Like there's no motivation. So I remember by the time we were doing KCSE, Mimi, what I tell you, I was not doing nothing. My friend would come to the bed. Most of the time when you go, people study at night or you go earlier to class to do your preps and all that. But I wasn't doing that. So Brenda Kate would come and be like, Sharon, just try. Just put a little effort. Just, I'm like, I don't know. I can't.
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah. There was no motivation whatsoever.
There was no motivation, and I knew I needed to, but I just couldn't. I think I'd also run on fumes for so long that I'd just hit rock bottom without knowing what that is.
Yeah.
And because I'm not asking for help and I'm not talking to anyone, it was just internal and I imploded. So I was going because there's no way I'm going to stay in bed when KCSE is ongoing and you're in school.
Yeah.
You have to show up. So I just showed up. And I remember when the results came out, gosh, my family, knowing that we have a high-achieving girl, everyone at buying newspapers. They used to list the top performers. Yeah. And Kabarak used to produce, still does.
Yeah.
So the whole family is like, yo, tumenunua gazeti.
They had high expectations.
Because they don't know.
Yeah.
No one even has been seeing my grades.
Yeah.
They don't know that, msichana aliwacha A's from 3. So like that was extra pressure for me. But so I got a B.
Yeah.
Everyone thought, it's good enough.
Yeah.
Me, I'm just like, I was actually shocked.
You're shocked?
I was shocked that I got that because I didn't try much, and I'm not saying it in an arrogant way.
Yeah,
but also like, I think this is progressive information and stuff that you've been learning all the while anyway, so that helped. But what helped is after that, the kind of support that I got from my family, that, hey, they were really dedicated in giving me a good education. And so my aunties decided we are taking you to Daystar because I've always loved writing. I've always loved expressing myself, the arts and all that, journalism, and asked me, so what can you do? I can do journalism because now I didn't get admission to medical school.
Yeah, so you went to Daystar at the river.
Yes, I went to Daystar at the river. Oh, mashinani.
And the funny thing is, Sophia Wanuna was your roommate, right?
Yes, she was my roommate. And
she still remains a good friend of yours.
Yes, she's a good friend. Yeah. She's a good friend.
And the funny thing is, you actually work together at Standard Media.
Yes. So we've come a long way. We've been friends. We've shared a lot of experiences. Yeah. So university was a very healing period for me. I think it's the time when I really sat with myself and I really got to the core of my wounds. And I mean, not that it ended there, but at least I made the decision to get over myself.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And then you were part of so many groups in Daystar, weren't you?
I was. The Sing Africa. I was in the Christian CU choir. I was in the drama club as well.
Yeah.
I was at the Shine FM, the school radio station. I was busy. I was busy. You know how over the weekend people would want to get away from Athi River. But there's this Sharon who had things to do in the wild. Yeah, so, but it was a lifeline for me. I think I took the time to really meet myself. Maybe not complete. Healing is a lifelong journey. But at that point, I really found myself. I really grounded myself. And I think I also found purpose.
Yeah.
As much as I think one of the things that was really letting me feel down is when I learned that I can't be a doctor. I have to shelve that dream.
Yeah.
But good heavens, things happen for a reason.
Exactly. Look at you now. Yeah.
I mean, I can't even imagine being a doctor right now. And I'm not even saying this to say like, your dreams were shattered, so you just have to do.
Yeah.
But honestly, I'm happy that I got the opportunity to be a journalist.
Yeah.
Why? Because even just telling people stories. So I became a features reporter along the way. And what this is, it's human interest reporting. I told stories. I have been telling stories of people's survival, of people's accomplishments, of people's grit, of people's determination. And sometimes you see it from somebody else and you realize, oh my God, it's human.
Yeah.
It's human to suffer. It's human to teach. It's human to have the intention to lift yourself up.
That's true.
So it was I think the nexus of me having my own, story of survival and also telling other people's stories of survival, not all the time just survival, but even innovation, amazing things that are happening. It was just meant to be. Because I had so much fun doing that. And it's the kind of stories that would then illuminate the paths for other people who are watching. Because growing up, I mean, even before I lost my parents, it's not like I came from a rich background or anything like that. But I always wanted to go out there and do big things. So just reading and seeing people's stories always, motivated me. So being in a position to do that. And then when you do a story and you see the kind of feedback it gets, people learning from other people, it was just meant to be. And I've really enjoyed that position. Yeah. It's fulfilling.
But actually, the funny thing is your first job was actually selling fish, right?
Yeah.
Tell me a bit about that.
Being a fishmonger. So after uni, I was in the Daystar University Students Association as a vice chairperson. And one of my good friends, Susan, was a secretary general.
Yeah.
So she used to part-time tutor kids of a Dutch family. That lived in Runda. So after our coursework, she graduated a year earlier than I did. I would visit her. So she had her own house within the compound. I would visit her, and then I got accustomed to this family. And when I was graduating, they were just setting up a fish farm in collaboration with one of the biggest fish farms in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
So what was different about their venture is the technology that they used. First of its kind in the country. Because it was, kabisa. Like even the Ministry of Fisheries would come for like exchange programs. We're producing up to 2 million fingerlings a month.
Wow, that's insane.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Like a high intensity production. Yeah. And this was made possible because of the kind of technology that they were using, which was not existent in the country. And so I had so much fun. Why? Because it's a new thing. Yeah. And at the time there was like there was an economic stimulus program that was fronted by the Ministry of Fisheries that was, building fish farms for people, and there was a high demand for fingerlings. So our system then was in high demand because there was a high demand for fingerlings and there was also a high demand for the know-how. Yeah. So we supplied both the fingerlings and the know-how for fish farming, feeding, and all of that. I didn't expect to find myself in this because I knew this family when they started. I graduated. I hadn't even started Mac time. It's called Mac timing. When you're looking for work. Oh, like you wouldn't know.
I wouldn't know, but
there's
a word for it.
There's a word for it. What's the word for it? Tamaking.
Tamaking. Yeah.
Tamaking. Yeah. So I hadn't started yet the tamaking. So it came. It was an opportunity that came. And I embraced it. I thought it would be like something I do as I look for a job in media. But I got to enjoy it so much. I got to enjoy it. It was a new thing. There's something about production. There's something about seeing something grow. Yeah. From a seedling, from we were literally getting seeds, and it was fascinating.
Wow.
And teaching people and all that. So I ended up doing that for 2 years.
Yeah.
But I got to a point where I was like, hey, madam.
You're calling.
Yeah. Like my soul just spoke out that I just needed to embark on
your media career.
On my media career. Yeah. So I did that. I just transitioned because they're really, really good friends up to now, the family.
Yeah.
And so transitioned, and it was interesting because the moment I decided that I need to embark on my journalism career, then like the next week, and I had this conversation with Rudy Van Dyke, the guy, and literally the next week there was an opportunity.
Wait, are they the ones who own Sarakasia?
Yes,
right?
they are.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So then,
I know. I was in class with his son Kevin.
Oh yeah, DJ Case.
Yeah.
Okay. So then I literally, then there was an advertisement for internship at KTN. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try it out. Yeah. I did, and I went for interviews. Interestingly, when I sat with the panel, I was like, oh my, everything seemed to check, except for one thing, which my boss told me later, Joe, that, you are not actually, you would not have made it for a simple reason that you're coming from a position it was actually management. I was managing the farm.
Yeah.
I had a house, I had a driver, I had a good salary, at my age.
Yeah. And that's at a very young age.
At a very young age. Yeah. So they felt, the panel, he would tell me later, the panel felt like, I don't think this girl knows what she's trying to do or what she's getting herself into. Because you're coming here as an intern, my friend.
The salary, of course, is...
Kitu unapata ni 7K. Yeah. 7K a month.
Yeah.
Which obviously will be your commute fees and at best lunch if it will manage that.
Yeah.
But then told me that, for me, this is Joe now telling me, that for me, I felt that this is exactly the reason why we need to take her in, because it shows a hunger.
Yeah.
It shows a hunger to do what...
A thirst. You have to grow. Yeah, and you knew you would grow.
Yeah. So I did. They took me in, and I never looked back. How long did you intern for? I interned for 3 months. The internship is 3 months. Then they extended my internship to 6 months. And by that time, I was shadowing. KTN had the best of journalists.
Who were you shadowing, actually?
Catherine Omwantho, Angel Katusia, Saida Swale. Then I worked at some point under John Allen Namu, which is now after my extension of my internship. Because after the 3-month internship, I took an interest in human interest stories. So I would even go and tell. I remember the first feature I did was actually on Sarakasi.
Oh, wow.
Deaf dancers.
Yeah.
It was called, what did I call it? Like art in silence.
Yeah.
Art in silence.
That's actually a full circle moment.
Full circle moment. It was my first ever feature.
Yeah.
So there's these dancers, they can't hear, but they're synchronized.
Yeah.
You know, there's so many of them on stage and they're in sync.
That's amazing.
And they're dancing to a beat.
Yeah.
So you're wondering, how can you do that?
Yeah.
So that explanation of how they feel it from the ground, they can feel the beat and all that. Like, it was so fascinating. And at that time, I don't know yet if I don't think I could voice yet. I wasn't allowed to voice yet.
Yeah.
But then from then even my supervisors supported my feature direction, because I was really interested in telling different, unique kind of stories, and it helped me grow. So I would go and film, and whatever, somebody else would voice it for me.
Yeah.
And by the 6th month, like this was an extension after my internship, I started voicing my own stories. And then I went to being a correspondent, and within a year I was confirmed as a reporter.
And then from reporting, how did you become an anchor?
This was 3 years into the job, and just took the challenge. You know, expanding and growing as a journalist, because I felt I had the skill. I felt I had the interest. So I can tell stories, but I can also read the news. I can also hold an interview. So why not? So I just took the challenge. I asked, can I try? And they said, try. And so I did.
And you had Standard Media for 10 years, a whole decade.
A whole decade. That was a family. And honestly, I really enjoyed my stay at Standard Group.
And you're still close with some of your former colleagues.
Because I grew. Also, like, no year was the same. You know, in this day and age, it's not common to stay that long at one place.
Exactly.
But no 1 year was the same.
Everything was different.
There was always a growth opportunity.
That's amazing,
Either by your own growth curve or by your, curiosity and inquisition and just knocking on doors. So I mean, I told stories. I grew up to be a news anchor, then grew to be an editor. In 2018, I got the Journalist of the Year award.
I was about to say, we'll go into your accolades. That's amazing. Congratulations.
So I've gone ahead of you. And I was this to say, at that time I got an opportunity just soon after. I was called by Citizen TV to join their team. And I was excited about that because different, also had been there for a while. And KTN gave me an opportunity that I sat and reflected, and I thought maybe I should take it. So at that time is when they gave me the opportunity to run the features desk at the group. And so I did, because then at Citizen I was going as a features reporter. So I did take the challenge. And so it was a new thing, and also grew to produce and host the Transform Kenya, which was a flagship product at Standard Group, just topical issues, national issues that brought in different stakeholders on a platform that spoke about different things that mattered to the country.
Oh, wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And then, of course, all good things come to an end. So after a decade, you decided to call it quits, if I can say that.
Yeah.
But before that, you've won so many accolades. Maybe you can tell us a bit about a few you've won.
So I try not to dwell on them. You know why? Because you don't tell stories to be awarded. Yeah, but also at the same time, you'll be like, oh, you're just saying that to sound like you're humble. But along the way, so there's the story that got myself and my colleague, who's a very good friend of mine, Hussein Mohammed, the 2018 Journalist of the Year award, was there was this proposal to set up a coal power plant in Lamu. And it was, it was a big thing in the country. There was all manner of engagement in terms of environmental impact and all that. So we went in depth to actually look at what would this setup look like? What are the environmentalists and the activists making noise about? Not just, they're just talking about what are we looking at? What have other countries done? This is, so we went in depth and showed clearly what would be the environment impact, what would be the health impact, what does it mean for the development goals for the country, because the aim is to get affordable power that then fuels development. So we went in depth, and that's what got us the award.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. In 2014, just a year or less than after I joined KTN, because I joined in 2013, I got the Young Journalist
of the Year.
Still from Media Council of Kenya. I don't think this was out of a particular story, but just out of a collection of stories, because just, endelea.
That's amazing.
Endelea hivyo.
And then some of the notable people you've interviewed, even the UN Secretary General.
Yes.
Antonio Guterres.
Yes.
How was that?
That was great. He's such a humble guy, so smart, such a visionary. So that was great. There's that, and former President Uhuru Kenyatta. That was also nice and chill.
From all the people you've interviewed, who would you say is your favorite?
I would say,
it doesn't have to be someone who's well known.
That's what I was going at.
Yeah.
It would have to be, I don't know, because there's so many. 10 years is so hard to summarize in a word.
Yeah.
But for me, I think the most impactful were the stories that had an impact.
Yeah.
That I did, and then something changed. For instance, there's a story we did in Turkana, far away place called Loima. It's next to the border of Kenya and Ethiopia.
Is this the story you did with Paul?
It's the story we did with Paul Wangela. And that story, these guys live, the closest clinic was up to, 20 kilometers away?
That's far, yeah.
And there are no public vehicles or anything. So they have to walk. So you can imagine if you're in an emergency situation.
Just like if you're in labor or something.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So had the opportunity to paint out this picture, and the missionary Deborah, who held that clinic closest to that community, gave us a picture of what it's like. And soon after we did this story, of course, the county government of Turkana responded like, you've taken
Something
this out of
needs to be done.
context. But even after, then equipped that missionary hospital with an extra ambulance. And then they even had community volunteers, the health volunteers, CHVs. And then the outreach was more frequent, and they had more access to drugs and medicine that was so needed in the area. So such impactful kind of stories. There was also another time when there was life-saving cancer treatment that was held at the airport for a reason that, like, this is it's donor given, medicine. But for some reason, they have to be taxed upon arrival, and there are people who are relying on this medicine for survival. And we did the story, and within 2 days, the drugs had been released.
That's amazing.
It had taken like 2 months.
Yeah.
Like the cancer patients could not even they were running out of medicine.
Yeah.
So for me, for me, it was those kind of stories that you do, and something turns around that changes the life experience of somebody else that mattered the most to me.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And then after a whole decade, you decided to take a bit of a sabbatical.
Yes,
to focus on marriage. You're married to one of my closest friends and also to be a mom.
Yes.
How was that break? And also, you also became a businesswoman. You opened your restaurant.
Yes, I did. So when was this? This is after the 2022 election. So I got my first child in 2020 during COVID, and then went back to work, and something shifted. Something in me shifted. I can't put in words what that was, but I just remember struggling, and I was wondering, why am I struggling? I love being a journalist. I love telling stories. I love being here. I've done this for 10 years. Why am I struggling? Like every morning was like work.
Yeah.
Getting out of bed was
no
work.
Motivation.
Getting to work was work.
Yeah.
And it felt it's the guilt that I felt about it. Like, why? Why is it hard? Why? This is my thing. This is my career. I'm good at this. Without giving myself the compassion of realizing that, you're also human. You have an additional responsibility. There's a whole child that you're taking care of. There's a whole new dynamic of you formed a family. There's expectations, there's responsibilities on that end as well. So as opposed to when it was just me focused on my ambitions, on my interests, on my passions, that there's something else.
But now you have other people to focus on.
And it took me a while to give myself compassion, to accept that it's okay.
Yeah.
You're not losing yourself. Or if you're losing something, it's because you're expanding into something else. And it took me a while to give myself that kind of compassion.
Yeah.
And so I decided, even in that confusion, I remember actually before I left after the elections, the first time I'd gone back to work after maternity, and I told this to my boss, Kimenyi, that, hey, I've tried. My head is not here.
Yeah.
I think I just need to leave.
Yeah.
And you know what he told me?
Give his blessings.
No. This was before I took the sabbatical.
Yeah.
He told me, Sharon, if you need a break, take as long
as you want.
Keep quiet, and I'll never forget that. Especially that he's a man. You expect men not to understand these things. And he told me, you've just become a mother. Maybe it's a new territory you are navigating. Take time. Maybe you're struggling to do the balance and it's taking a toll on your mental health. Take as long as you need.
Yeah.
Can you? This is after I had actually drafted a resignation letter.
Yeah.
So I just want to say thanks to that man.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And so I did that. That was in 2021. Took an extra 2 months. And then when I came back, I was fresh and motivated, continued. I was actually so keen on covering the next election cycle, which I did. I was on air when we were announcing the president and all that. But I knew after this, I needed to take time to just rediscover myself, to know who is Sharon in this new dispensation. Yeah. And that's exactly what I need. And at that time, I had the blessing of all my supervisors and my bosses, like, just do you. So I took time off and went. My husband runs a business in Naivasha, vacation homes and all that. And so we had a space that was supposed to be a restaurant and all, but it was not really much had not formed really. So it was a challenge.
You knew you could revive it.
Yeah. So that's right there. Gonna do it. So started a restaurant.
Really nice one being there.
Yeah. And I enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it. It's still on.
It's been a nice journey.
It's been amazing. I never thought that I would find myself in that space. Yeah. In that kind of entrepreneurship, because the kind of entrepreneurship I've done is, selling intellectual property. I've consulted, done communication strategies and all that. But this is hospitality
something
business.
Completely
different. It was a nice break, a nice breath of fresh air.
Yeah. So now, after those 3 years, what told you that you're ready to go back on air?
Because this it's so funny that things align as they would. So late 2024, all structures were in place. Like this business has been running for 2 years. There's a payment system, there's a feedback system, there's there's a whole system. We have a menu, we have return clientele, there's a vibe about the place. So truly my presence there was not
needed.
as truthful as we can be. And also, like, just being there managing this place was just taking somebody else's opportunity.
That's true.
Because my job was just to set it up, set the structures, and it was running. So I knew, my time is up. I need a new challenge. So interestingly, then, beginning of this year, I get a call from my former boss, who's now at Nation Media Group, asking, msichana uliendanga wapi? Like, yeah. And so we have a conversation. There's an opportunity. Do you want to? We meet, we discuss. And that's how I got back. It was actually alignment because I was ready to, I knew I want to go back. I didn't know in what particular way.
What capacity.
So what capacity. So when this came up, and I hadn't worked anywhere else in the media industry apart from Standard Group. So it's like, also, let me just see how this industry looks away from Mombasa Road. So it's been 6 months now.
And what I like is that for you, a lot of things have happened full circle. On your new show, you're working with your former colleague, Eric Latif.
Yes.
You see how things happen for a reason.
That's true. Just before the election cycle in 2022, there's a show that we had conceived that Eric, myself, and a seasoned journalist called Nzao, who has now transitioned into law, Nzao Musao, was supposed to launch at KTN. It didn't come to be because at the time so many things were happening, and then Spice FM happened and whatever. Like it was a great idea whose time had not come. So we find ourselves here, and then they're looking for a host, a female host, and I'm like, I'm available. Can I try? And we find ourselves on the same platform. It's a whole full circle. It's going great. It's we've done 5 shows now, and it's taking form. It's taking form, and it's poised to be a really good platform for engaging on very important things in the country.
It's amazing.
It's called The Last Word.
The Last Word. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And before we close, I'd like to ask you a couple of questions. What would you say is the greatest joy of being a mom?
For me, it is, I feel like I have an opportunity to teach, to nurture. I thank God that I had this mindset from the beginning that children come from you, of you, but are not for you and are not yours. I know I have a season for nurturing these 2 boys, but they don't belong to me. So in my whole life, and I became a mom when I was 32 years old. In all terms, that's not so early, but not too late either. But like in its time, in these days, actually, there's no there's no calendar.
Kids later on,
there's no calendar. But for me, it is the opportunity to see them grow, and I see myself as a young child through them.
And there's no manual, actually.
There's no manual. There's no manual. For me, I have the challenge to show them and to let them understand that they are whole, they are complete, because there's something that this world does. If you don't get that cushioning from the beginning, that you'll always be seeking something outside of yourself.
That's true.
And I hope that I can have them feel that they are whole, they are complete. They have to have confidence in who they are. Whatever they are is enough. is enough, so that no external voice will come and make you seek validation here, there, everywhere. Because I know about that. I've been through that journey. And that's my greatest challenge to myself as a mother, to just show these boys that you're complete. And also in that self-compassion, you're enough.
Yeah.
You're enough. Whatever you choose to be, a carpenter, a president, or what, you're human first. You're human first. And you're complete. And at the same time, just show compassion to the next person.
That's amazing.
Because this life can be, people can be mean.
Yeah.
Just don't be in the mean group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And last but not least, what advice would you give to any upcoming journalist?
Know what you want. Know what you want to do. Know what you want to do with your storytelling. Because it's one thing to just sit in the newsroom and wait to be assigned stories and wait to be told, oh, leo, president anaongea huko, oh, governor anasema hii. You know?
Yeah.
But I feel like a journalist at the core is on a mission. Know your mission. Is it to educate? Is it to inform? Is it to inspire? Is it to change? Is it to catalyze? Know your mission. Sit with yourself. Understand what you want to see coming out of your craft.
Wow.
And when you have that clear, the roads will just open and the impact will be guaranteed.
Wow. That's amazing. Thank you so much, Sharon. You know, this has been something I've been waiting for a while. And when I got your text, I was really excited. Thank you for being my friend.
Thank you,
Thank you for having an impact on so many people.
Thank you.
Thanks for being an amazing wife to my close friend, a great mother.
Let him say that himself. Thank you,
I'm
Ty.
just very grateful. Thank you, Sharon.
Thank you for having me.
Anytime.
Yeah.
Everybody, thank you so much for watching Ty Talks with me, Tyrone Kimenyi. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Please like, share, subscribe. And of course, I'm available on all social media platforms under the handle @Tyrone Kimenyi. Please follow me. I thank you so much for your time, and I'll see you very soon. God bless you all.
Adios. Thank you.
Did you like it?